What is good, everyone? My name is Mike Corey of the YouTube channel Fearless and Far. I have over 3 million subscribers on my channel and over 1 billion views just on YouTube alone. And in this video, I'm diving into the most important things you need to do to get subscribers and views on YouTube. It is really not that complicated once you master it. And good news, as the world has changed and we're all TikTokified and all the different social platforms, you don't need subscribers in order to get views. What you need is these 3 things I'm going to tell you, because the world is over, the one where subscribers and followers see your shit. Now it's basically an arms race who can master these 3 things on YouTube, and anybody can do it if you understand. So on that note, let's get going. First of all, the most important thing on YouTube is CTR, which is click-through rate. And for the longest time, the first 9 years of me on YouTube, I didn't give a shit. I went to the coolest places on the planet, and I think I made some pretty fucking banging videos of exploding hammer festivals and orange throwing festivals and bioluminescence, the brightest in the world in Puerto Rico. I was the first to go film a lot of these things, but I didn't give a shit about packaging. If you go into a 7-Eleven or a grocery store and you want to try a new candy bar, you're going to buy it based on the label. Same with bottles of wine and alcohol. Whatever looks the coolest, you're going to try. Same thing with YouTube. It is marketing 101. And you can make the best fucking video or the best candy bar or wine in the world, but if your label is shitty, no one's going to buy it. They're going to look right over it. Let's say you make a poop brown label with piss yellow writing. It's all small, it doesn't make any sense, no one's gonna click, they're not gonna try something that doesn't look good from the outside. Definitely judge a book by its cover. That's how the world works. So, click-through rate is 2 things, your title and your thumbnail. These don't matter on Instagram or on TikTok. Any short form, you just swipe through. That's when the hook is most important, the first few seconds. Also kind of important on YouTube too, but the thumbnail and title is something unique for long form YouTube videos you have to fucking smash. So, how does that work? For the longest time, I didn't care, like I said. And then I started caring too much, and we would spend hours trying to take the perfect photo. Let me just show you my channel quickly for a second on my phone. And here. So the first one you see here is I found real voodoo in Africa, unbelievable, 4 million views. Banger. So a couple things here we'll look at. This is a real photo we took. It took us 50 tries to get the skull right, to get him to look at the camera. It was a lot of work. This is like cream of the crop. If you can get a thumbnail like this, or we'll look at Lost in Congo and Traded Crocodiles for a Bed, also a real photo we took. We look at Baka Pygmies. When we are recording a video, when we're spending days filming, we spend hours thinking about thumbnails. It is so important. However, in the past 6 months, this has changed a little bit. We use AI, and I know this is not as kosher as taking a real photo, and I know that there's ways you can do it well, and there's ways you can't do it well. And I know it's a little bit cheating, but let me show you exactly the process before you judge too much, because a lot of big YouTube channels are doing this, and we can make it more authentic than you think right now. So like I said, number 1 priority is always shooting it on location. But if you're traveling, you're not in a studio with perfect lights and actors. It's really hard sometimes to get a good thumbnail that incorporates the elements of the video into one single image. So what we do is we do something like this. We write a prompt similar to this. You are an expert YouTube thumbnail artist. You're making a 16:9 thumbnail for a video entitled Mad Honey Hunting in Nepal. Use the images to create a thumbnail of this group of men holding a dripping, vibrant yellow honeycomb. Add a red mark on the white man's forehead, like in the reference photo. Do not add text. Make the thumbnail emphasize the dripping honey and the white man. That's me. Make it cinematic. So I spoke about photos. These are all real photos we took on location. Me with the red mark, like I said, me with the honey, the boys with the honey, me with the honey, all these different photos of real people and me holding things. Any one of those didn't quite cut it as a thumbnail, so we're gonna add all of these photos to this prompt, and we are going to generate, just like that. I'll give that a second to generate, and then I'll put it up on screen. So one of the most important things with content, and this goes for any kind of content, whether it be thumbnail and title for a long form YouTube video or a short or whatever it be, is something called the curiosity gap. And what the curiosity gap is when people see the image or see the first few seconds, they're like, they don't quite get it, but they're like, I want to know how this ends. So looking back at for example, on my phone, there was the voodoo video where it said, I found real voodoo in Africa, unbelievable. Makes a curiosity gap. It's like, hey, what was unbelievable? And real voodoo? What's real voodoo? So these sort of things make people interested in the click, and with the thumbnail showing the intensity of all that, people click on it. Obviously 4 million people watch that video, and it's like what, like 46 minutes long. So it did really well. And the thumbnail is finished. Here it is on screen. So not bad. You can even make refinements. You can type in, make white man's face look exactly like reference photos if you don't look exactly the way you should, but you can massage it from there. And it's all things that you shot on location. Make sure you shoot those photos on location, so later you can amalgamate that into a thumbnail. Before this, you could do the same thing with Photoshop. You just take the photos, you mash them together, you layer them, you blend them, and then it's kind of the same thing. And we've been doing that shit forever on YouTube. Now we have better ways to do it with AI. So like it or not, this is kind of the future. I've embraced it, but it's always done with real photos that I get AI to mash together to emphasize the bits and pieces that get people to click. But then, one of the most important things after that is when they click, they have to see that what they clicked on is exactly what they're interested in. Otherwise, it's clickbait. You can't just have a fantastic photo, put them in the video, and then whoop, it's not at all what they saw in the thumbnail, they'll click away. And average view duration is the second most important thing after CTR. The first scene, this is what I try to do as often as possible, is have it very similar to what the thumbnail was they clicked on. Because then they know that I didn't trick them. We're actually going to go on the adventure and answer the question that we pose with the thumbnail and title. I do something called a cold open in basically every single video. And what that is basically a long hook. The first 15 to 25 seconds of pretty much all of my videos that went viral are a montage of all of the most exciting scenes without really giving it all away fully. I'll show you the one for voodoo right now, and you can see how these two things match together. Warning, this documentary contains graphic cultural images. Viewer discretion is advised. Quick little side note. The reason why I put that disclaimer in the beginning of all of my videos that are more graphic is because on YouTube, if it's educational and a documentary, then you have different restrictions basically. If you just put crazy shock value stuff, then they're like, oh, it's shocking, and they'll demonetize. If you say, hey, this documentary is meant for educational purposes, viewer discretion is advised, then that kind of circumvents their internal rules and regulations for demonetization. It's really important if you choose to film anything that's more graphic or real like this. Anyway, into the cold open.
We came here expecting to see real voodoo. We've definitely found it. That's exactly what you think it is. Welcome to Benin. Craziest dance class I've ever been to.
Ready for one of the wildest videos yet? And then so after that, you're like, holy shit, this looks crazy. Then we can go back and start telling the story from the beginning, which looks something like this.
Welcome to Benin. This is Dang Tokpa Market, which means market by the lake of snakes.
Let's get to the last point here, which wraps all of this up, and it's a bit of a secret that people don't think about. Gone are the days where you needed keywords and hashtags to be found. It's all just whether people click, whether people watch, and how long they watch for. That's the last piece here. Whether they log off and close the browser after you're done, or whether they keep watching, because these platforms, especially Google, long-form YouTube videos, what they want is someone to watch as many ads as possible. So if your video's longer, let's say it's a 45-minute video, not a 15-minute video, you watch more ads. Everybody gets paid. You get paid more. Google gets paid more. They like that more. Longer videos are better, okay? Also, at the end, you don't want them to go off and do something else. You want them to keep watching YouTube because that's what Google wants. They want you to watch more, want them to watch more so they can watch more ads and everyone gets paid. The end card CTA, no, end card CTR, well, both of those actually. End card CTA, the call to action at the end. Hey guys, hope you love the video. Watch these ones, they're awesome too. And then having those specifically called out and the CTR, the click-through rate of those end cards at the end. I'll show you an example here in a second. Super important because it continues their time on the platform. And YouTube, Google sees, oh, someone watches this video and they always watch another video, or 20% of the time they watch another video, they want more. We can show them more ads. In the top, there's one of a trip to Mongolia where we visited a reindeer tribe and had a little bit of their, let's call it red Kool-Aid. On the bottom is another extreme adventure. And honestly, guys, I can't say enough how happy I am you are here enjoying these videos of these extreme, unique places around the world. I'm Mike of Fearless and Far. Ben's behind the camera. Thank you for joining us in this adventure, and make sure to click if you want to see more things that will blow your mind. And so therefore your video will be promoted more because it continues people's sessions after. The last thing Google wants is someone to finish your video and close the application because then they're done, their session's over. If your videos continue their session, they love that. And that's not something people talk about very often. So this is video length, but it's an end call to action to click on an end card, and the conversion of those, the CTR of those end card buttons on the side, super important as well. Well, not as important as the first two. So these are my secrets, the 3 things that everyone needs to know for success on YouTube. If you want to see exactly what's in my backpack, myself and my videographer break down our camera kits, what we've used to film, all of the tips and tricks, the lens combinations, all of this, it's in a different video, but it's inside my community called Order of Explorers. In there's a bunch of people who are looking to have more authentic travel experiences. I put all of my knowledge in this group. It's all inside. We do calls every single week. You have direct access to me. You can ask me questions. If you want to be part of it and you want to see more about this YouTube series, go to Order of Explorers. The link is below. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you inside OXE.